Yo guys, how's y'all fucking doing? I'm good. Yes. I'm back at you. I'm retarded. New video. This is the video. Anyway, I'm reviewing another movie that I watched recently. I was gonna review August Underground, the trilogy of August Underground, because I found it to be interesting, for lack of better word. No word come to mind. Anyway. So I wanted to do those, but I was like, that's a bit too heavy. The acting and the how can I put this? The sort of like what happens, but also, well, the theme is very fucked. I don't really want that, you know, show that. So yeah. So I will be covering instead another movie called Black Metal Veins. And that movie, so by the way, the last movie that I covered, the Cannibal Holocaust movie, that one was, I think, real. It was like a documentary sort of thing, right, of real life events, while the, what's it called, the August Underground trilogy is not real events. It's basically just a snuff film. It's snuff films, 3 to be exact, but they're fake. Like, they're all actors, all paid actors, obviously. Now, Black Metal Veins, this one's real. At least that's what the general consensus is, that this movie is actually real. And I watched it, and it's a bit heavy. The theme is heavy, but I decided we'll cover it, right? So basically, it's a 2-minute intro, goddamn. Yeah, basically, what happens is you have a group of people living in one apartment, right? Sometimes people come and go, some people died, and basically just a documentary covering the lives of these heroin junkies. It basically tries to show what happens to people as their bodies deteriorate, like what happens to them personally, what should they have to go through to get the drugs, and like what effect the drug has on people. And it actually goes into the personal aspects of these people's lives, like their actual lives, right? And we get to witness some people overdose. One of the characters really early on, I think around like the 25-minute mark, apparently he dies in like a drug deal gone wrong sort of situation. It's never elaborated, it's literally just a text on the screen. I can maybe even show it, I don't know, but I'll just show it, right? Like what it says, and we never see this character again. There's a female character who's seen in the beginning of the movie, who's telling us her like backstory, how she was abused, and how she grew up. Like, actually, she apparently she grew up pretty decently, but then had like a fucked up things happen to her basically down the line, and which led her to start using drugs. And then how she got sober, well, not sober, clean, how she became clean, how she got kids, and how they were taken away from her again, and how she went back on drugs. And you have other characters as well, and it's basically like this movie that covers character arcs and the progression of these characters. Now, this isn't like an anime where you have like a protagonist and shit. The main antagonist is fucking drugs. So the thing is, it puts me in a retrospective, right? Like, the thing is, before this, I didn't really quantitate how bad drugs were, right? Like, the schools, people in general, like parents and teachers and, you know, just general family members, or even between each other, between friends, drugs are known to be bad, right? The effect that drugs have on people is not gonna be great. It's pretty fucking obvious. You don't need to be a genius to really get that one, right? It's like oh, you get a quick high that really, let's say, a painkiller sort of high, right? And then you feel shit and you start to get like a codependence on it, which is obviously bad. But the thing is, to really kind of grasp it, this helped to kind of understand, because you saw the people start to break out in like skin rashes, their skin started swelling up, and like they got acne scars all over their body, they got abscesses on their body, their teeth started to rot, their extremities, like their fingers and their toes and stuff, also started to rot and decay. So it really puts it in a very like bad light, right? Now, how can I put this? Right, I went in with an open mind towards it, thinking, you know, this movie won't really serve as like a reason for me to change my standing on drugs. My standing on drugs was that, like, they might be fine if you do them in normal, like, amounts, to normal degrees, but it's not really up to you at some point, you know what I mean? Like, people think they have the mental strength to not succumb to them, right? To the addictive power of, let's say, opioids, right? But that's really not up to you in the end. It's not really up to you. Your body is just starting to crave it, and you start to have like a really big dependence, and what kills people in the end is the overdose, typically. Now, there's really dumb shit, which is like, oh, you got high and you start like, you're running in the middle of a street and a car hits you, right? Sure, there's that, right? But like the thing that like drugs do that kill you is the overdose, I'd say. That's the most frequent things. That people OD, people die. People OD on, like, yeah, basically just the drugs. Also, this is now, I'm just ranting about drugs. Damn. Talk about the movie into one. Right, okay. So the movie really doesn't honestly do that much else. You see character progression for one of the male characters. There's nothing really too much interesting about him. We just see him in the beginning talking about religion and Satanism, apparently how he's a Satanist, and he thinks that it's the only correct path in life. And then we don't see him for the rest of the entire movie, which led me to believe that he was dead. And in the end, we see him administering drugs to one of his friends, as in like to kind of help him, and that guy OD'd. So, yeah. The female character I talked about, there are actually two female characters. The first female character, in the beginning of the film, the thing that I like, paid attention to kind of throughout the film was that she was kind of, how can I put this? Like, she looked healthy, you know? Like when, like, okay, if you look at a person, right, a healthy person would be a little bit full, you know, like they wouldn't be super slim with like the skin almost tight to the bone, that type of stuff, you know, like you would see some life in them. At the end of the movie, there was no life in her. She was pretty much dead. Actually, she did die. God damn, I cannot be talking about this stuff on YouTube, can I? Who cares? Whatever. I can't get restricted. This is freedom of speech. Sure. Anyway. So the thing is, she was this kind of healthy person, right, who was on drugs, and then progressively started using more and more drugs, and then she broke off relationships with people, got relationships with new people, right, people to support her addiction for certain acts. Anyway, moving on, yeah, that's pretty much it for her arc. She dies later on with an OD, she literally overdoses. Apparently it's like, it's mentioned in caps. I don't know what that is. I didn't look it up either, because I don't want to look it up. I don't want to be in my search history, so yeah. Anyway, the other woman actually she's a prostitute basically, and she prostitutes herself. God damn, my cat fucking scared me. Gato, you're so scary. She's so scary. Look at her. There's not a single thought running through that brain. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm back. So, the other girl, who's a prostitute, that girl, they're all women. They're all women, like 25 and plus, probably somewhere like that, if not 30s. So, regardless, she's a prostitute, earns her money by prostituting herself to people, you know. Also, what that put me into perspective was those services cost way less than I expected. Like, I thought, you know, that would cost like $200, maybe $300, you know, with the mouth and the other, and the whatever. You get it. It's more like $20. I thought that was a meme. It's not. That's actually because this is a real life documentary of real life people. And yep, well, I guess not. And you know, it basically, she tells us the story of her life as well, how she was abused. You really see an abuse sort of trait permeating throughout all the characters in this film. Also, you see how they're very violent, by the way. Like, one of the male characters start to beat the woman. I actually don't remember their names. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna say their names, but I don't remember most of their names. I think there was a Sarah in there? I don't know. Anyway, what else happens? Let me think. Right. A lot of them have families, by the way, like sons and daughters, you know, and I'm like, Dude, what? But I'm assuming this happened before they got, you know, addicted to drugs, to hard drugs. So that's why it like kind of carried over. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I cannot say, oh yeah, if I was a dad, I'd like immediately quit drugs. You know, not because I wouldn't, because I don't know if I could. I don't know my own mental strength, and I don't know the effect that opioids would have on me, for example, right? Until I have them, I'm not gonna have them. Anyway, the movie is fine. The movie is a good sort of like realization for yourself as to how truly bad and truly like life-altering drugs in a negative way, truly life-altering in a negative way drugs are to people, and how like horrifically they affect the human body, and just the diseases that follow with, you know, getting an addiction. So yeah, it's a solid like 7 out of 10 movie. This one actually had plot and not murder as its focal point of just cool. The horror aspect is actually like, this is horrifying. Like putting yourself in a situation where you have an incredibly just, what do you call it, uncurable almost disease where like no rehabilitation will probably work for you, because rehabilitation is almost a fucking scam as I've you know seen and heard. So yeah, it's a solid like 7 out of 10 movie. Don't watch it. Like the other one. Actually, the other one, well, I don't know if I said don't watch the other one, but probably don't watch it. It's a pretty shit movie. It's the first what would you call it, like found footage film. So if you want to see it for the what do you call it, for the novelty, I guess the novelty of it, then sure, you can do that. Go for it. I mean, I'm not your dad. You can watch whatever the fuck you want. You can torrent pretty much anything you need to torrent. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, another movie. I will probably be covering some more movies, because I've watched a lot more horror/snuff films, which I kind of want to talk about. They're really bad, they're really gruesome, and I got a new sort of appreciation for, you know, my own life, and me not being, you know, on drugs and almost dying all the time. So, oh yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.